This is a remarkable place. A place steeped in history, where trails have been blazed, discoveries have been made, and lives have been changed forever. This is a place that holds questions and answers, problems and solutions. It's a place to tap into your creativity, curiosity, and ambition. This is a place to pursue what makes you, you. Here you'll be challenged and cheered, and you'll join a tradition of change makers. This is a place you'll miss when you leave. Look around and picture yourself here, at this unique time, in this remarkable place. You'll be amazed at what you find. Welcome to UNC Greensboro. Find your way here.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another live stream brought to you by the admissions office at UNC Greensboro. It is a pleasure to be with y'all this evening. I am so happy to be here. My name is Trey. I am an admissions counselor, and I have been at UNCG for quite a long time. I'm joined by some amazing people who have also been at UNCG for a long time, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and I'm going to start with Tatiana McEnany. Tatiana is our Associate Director of First Year Admissions. So Tatiana, tell us who you are and what you do here.
My name is Tatiana McEnany. I am the Associate Director for First Year Recruitment in the Undergraduate Admissions Office and also a 2015 Student Athlete Alumni. So I'm very excited to chat with you all today. And I will pass it over to John.
Hi, everyone. My name is John Lucas. I'm the Interim Director for the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships. And I have been working at UNCG for about 22 years now. So it's been quite a long time. And happy to be here to talk with everyone and happy to go over our information and answer questions when we get to that part. So welcome. Jacob, you want to go next?
Hi, my name is Jacob Leonard. I'm a counselor here in the financial aid office. I've been here almost a year and a half, give or take. Happy to be here, happy to help answer questions. So I'll look forward to any questions anybody has.
Wonderful. And Kim.
Hey everyone, my name is Kim. I am the Senior Director for First Year Student Engagement and Experience. Again, I get to talk with you all tonight about SOAR, our required new student orientation program.
Wonderful. Well, friends, go ahead and send us in your questions. We have a number at the bottom of the screen where you can text in your questions. That number is 336-892-8051. So again, that number is at the bottom of your screen. Go ahead and send us in any questions that you have so that way we can get those questions answered. Let's not take it any further with the waiting. Let's go ahead and start sharing the slides that we have and talk about all of the things that are your next steps to becoming a student here at UNCG. So if you have any questions, again, go ahead and send us in those questions. And I'm going to make my video just a little bit bigger because I can do that right here. But I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Tatiana. And Tatiana, tell us about what our students need to do next.
Alrighty, like Trey said here, make sure to text those questions as you are having those questions. We have staff available to answer them. So what we're going to talk about is your next step. So you definitely want to go ahead and confirm your intent to enroll. So students should have received an email from us. It's in the form of a survey, kind of asking, do you plan to intend to enroll at UNCG? Now, here are a couple options. Now, if the student does plan to attend, by clicking that, it doesn't necessarily mean that the student actually enrolled. So you'll see on this next slide, the student will have to go into the Spartan link account to actually accept the offer and say, yes, I do want to come. So you'll definitely have to follow the prompts to log into the Spartan link. The Spartan link is that portal that the student created with the student's personal email and their own password. So they'll click on accept your offer to admissions, and then the next slide will show you what it's going to look like on the Spartan link side. So you'll see under the student's My To-Do list, it'll say respond to offer of admissions, and that's where the student will actually go in and hit, yes, I want to attend UNCG. So this is a very important part in making sure that you do plan on enrolling. That way, you can kind of start those next steps. So the next slide, we'll talk about claiming your computer accounts. We have been getting a lot of questions about claiming your computer accounts. Students should have received an email about 1 to 2 days after being admitted to UNCG. It comes from our ITS department, our 6 tech department, and it's a subjected like claim your computer accounts. You'll have to go back and find that email to be able to claim your accounts. If you're not able to find that email, first, I definitely suggest checking your spam email or your spam folder. If you're not able to do that, I want everyone to take a picture of this slide, because you're definitely going to want to contact our 6 tech department by phone number. You'll see that phone number listed on here, or you can send them an email. They will be able to help you and get you set up and resend that email so the student is able to activate those computer accounts. And that the computer accounts include your UNCG email and also setting up your PIN, which is very important when viewing your financial aid package. So next slide. Housing opened on February 1st. So students have already began to sign up for housing through the Artemis portal, which you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. It is a different portal. You will need your computer accounts in order to do this. So that's why it's very important to make sure you have those. And then next, another thing that you can start doing is immunization records. Very important. You can go ahead and start the process. You can see if you just kind of Google UNCG immunization records, you'll go onto this link here. There is a step 1 and step 2 process that you can go ahead and start doing at the moment. If you have any questions, the best people to contact is our immunization office directly, and their phone number is on this slide as well. All right, so we are going to, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Trey.
Yeah, so Tatiana, if a student doesn't know if they are going to enroll at UNCG yet, is it okay if they don't make a decision?
Yeah, so they actually, housing and SOAR, they are able to register for housing and SOAR at the moment. We encourage students to go ahead and make a decision. That way, it kind of solidifies, helping find roommates and you registering for the accurate SOAR. SOAR dates are filling up, so you want to make sure you go ahead and enroll as soon as possible. But we also have counselors available to chat with. So if you have any questions or concerns, we always have counselors every day, Monday through Friday, to be able to chat with you about anything, those last minute questions that you're hesitant about.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Tatiana. Now let's go ahead and turn things over to Kim Susan Peoples, who is in our new student transitions and first year experience office. And Kim, tell us a little bit about what SOAR is all about.
Sure. So SOAR is Spartan Orientation, Advising, and Registration. Many of you have already, or your students have already gone in through Spartan Link and probably started what we call the CSI, the Class Schedule Interest Inventory. And once you do that, you can learn a little bit more about SOAR. But SOAR is a required new student orientation program for all new students. It's an interactive program. We spend, for the first year students, we spend about a day and a half sharing a whole bunch of information, allowing students to meet other new students and current students who serve as our orientation leaders who are current students. So it's a action-packed day and a half worth of activity. It's a lot of fun and it's very informative. Let's see, I'm gonna keep rolling on here. What will you do at SOAR? Well, like I said, you're gonna learn a lot about UNCG resources. You're gonna meet people, faculty, staff, advisors, academic advisors, other orientation leaders, other new students. You'll get to see the campus a little bit more, a little bit different than a tour, but you'll get to see some other spaces. You will connect with academic advisors during orientation, and they will share with you your schedule and walk you through any questions that you have, to include any changes that you might want to make with your schedule. And you're also going to get to experience living in a residence hall overnight. So all of our SOAR participants stay with us overnight in Jefferson Suites for the first year program for the freshman students. And so even if you're going to be a commuter student in the fall, all students stay overnight this one night with us, regardless if you live on campus or commute in the fall. We all stay overnight during SOAR. It's a way to, we kind of keep you up late, not too late, but we do activities through the evening. And then you got to be back up early. So it makes life easier for everyone. Plus you get to meet other new students in kind of a fun way in the residence hall. So everybody will stay overnight with us. Let's see. Next slide. Okay, so how do you make your SOAR reservation? As Tatiana mentioned, SOAR reservation, so SOAR sessions fill up. There is a cap, there is a max capacity for each of the sessions. So if you are starting to try to make your summer plans, you might want to go ahead and try to lock in some dates for SOAR. So you'll go into the new student portal and you'll make your SOAR sign up. You can do that at any time. But as Tatiana mentioned, confirming your intent to enroll becomes very important right around April 29th, because for students who did not confirm their intent to enroll by that date, we'll go ahead and release your SOAR reservation so that somebody else can get into that spot. So you'll want to make sure you do that by April 29th, which is to go in, confirm your intent to enroll through your Spartan Link account, and then finish up your SOAR reservation. That'll confirm your SOAR reservation. Like I said, all new students are required to attend. All new students are able to bring one guest without a charge, and that guest is an adult family member, somebody supporting you through your transition into college. You can also bring one additional guest for a small fee, and you'll see all that information on our reservation site. So you'll want to finish up that class interest survey, make your reservation, make sure you confirm your intent to enroll to hold your reservation, and then we'll see you in June. Okay, so how do you know which session you're going to attend? The first year sessions are designed by your major or the school or college that your major falls into. Every major at UNCG falls into one of our colleges or schools, and you can find that easily out on the UNCG web to see where your major falls. But these are the colleges and schools that you see listed on your screen here. When you see the SOAR dates offered, it will show you which ones you can come to based on your major. So here are the dates. So College of Arts and Sciences, College of Visual and Performing Arts, and exploratory. So EXP is exploratory. If you are an exploratory student, what that means is you're undecided. Those are the dates that you'll choose from. If you're in the Bryan School of Business, HHS, School of Education or Nursing, you'll see the dates that are available for you to attend. And when you're in the system, it'll just show you the dates based on what you've told us your major is. For transfer students, we have 3 dates. We have a virtual program. We have an in-person express, and then we also have an in-person, a little bit more traditional orientation program where there'll be an overnight stay.
Thank you so much, Kim.
Yeah.
All right, let's move right on into our financial aid section so that way we can go ahead and answer any of the questions that you have about financial aid. So John and Jacob, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to y'all.
Thank you, Trey. We do have a couple slides to go through, but we will go through them quickly so we can get to your questions. We often find that's the most informative part of the session. So we will go through a few of these slides to sort of set the stage. So it is important to make sure that your student has completed the FAFSA. Most of our incoming students have done so, but even if you haven't, just want to remind everyone that it's not too late to do so. So go ahead and complete that if you have not, but also a quick reminder for next school year already. in that available October 1st will be the FAFSA for the following year. So you do have to do your FAFSA every year. Next slide, please. After doing the FAFSA, though, there are some next steps that some students may have to do. Sometimes you have to submit a signature page. If only this parent or only the student has signed the FAFSA initially, the other has to also sign it. That is something that we see hold students up sometimes. Be on the lookout for your student aid report to come in the mail or via email. That's basically the folks at the FAFSA sending you the information to make sure you can review it just in case you made any errors on it. So sometimes people might put some wrong information, make an error. This is a chance to kind of double check what you've done. Some students will be selected for verification or other requirements that they have to follow through on. And the final piece is special circumstances. That is something that we'll talk about near the end, but that is for people who are experiencing some difficulty that's not captured on the FAFSA. One important thing in terms of what to expect, we have started awarding financial aid for next year already. So a lot of students have gotten an email from our office as well as a mailing that has gone home. And so that will have the financial aid award and also some next steps, sort of what to do next and how to look forward and continue to move forward through the process. So if you haven't gotten an award for your student just yet, one of two things: either it's on the way, or there could be one of those things that is preventing us from doing the award just yet, and you'll want to double check that with our office. So speaking of the award, how do you view the award? Well, and we've talked a little bit about Spartan Link and the new student portal. However, the financial aid information actually exists in the part of the Uncg webpage called UNC Genie. And in order to access Genie, you need to have your student ID and your PIN or your computer account information. So either way, it will get you into Genie. We do have some slides here to show you really quickly what it looks like. So you want to go into the main menu of Genie, enter the secure area. That's really important for the login information because this information is sensitive. So it can't be viewed until someone logs in. There's the ID and PIN, what the boxes look like. So you would go ahead and enter that information. If you have your student's ID and PIN, you could look at it or look at it with your student. We definitely encourage students and parents to review the information together, because a lot of the information you're going to want to talk about and make decisions about how to move forward. So finally, once you get into the main menu, there's a financial aid link. So you can see the blue tab on the top or the link in the middle of the page, both work. Select that link, and then all of a sudden you could be looking at the award letter information. And so the next slide will give you a sense of what the award letter will look like. This is obviously not the whole letter. This is a blown up part of it, but this is the part that people are most interested in terms of what was I offered. You can see, for example, this student was offered a combination of student loans, grants, and scholarships, which is typical for a lot of our students. It's not always just one thing. It may be a combination of different things. All right, next slide, please. This is the bottom part of the letter, which talks a little bit about the cost of attendance. This is an important thing, which is not your bill. This is just an estimate of what it costs to attend the university for a year. This is how the financial aid is calculated. The EFC comes from your FAFSA. You would have seen that when you completed the FAFSA. And then just some information about other types. What are the award types? Gift aid versus self-help aid. Gift aid, again, scholarships and grants. Self-help aid are student loans or federal work study. And also for students that have received or are applying for scholarships in your communities, from your high schools, things like that. If you are awarded a scholarship, even if you don't get the check right away or have the check sent to our office, if you do submit a copy of the donor's letter explaining to you that you've won the scholarship, we'll put that into the system. And even though the money may not come right away, you will get credit for that on your bill as an incoming payment, which lowers your out-of-pocket expense. So it's really important that you share those with us as soon as you get them. This is some information that would come with the award letter packet that we will send home, because then after getting a financial aid award, the next question is, well, what's it going to cost after that? Because the hard part is you haven't received a bill from the university yet, and you will not receive a bill until early July from the cashier's and student accounts office. But this document will help you get a sense of, well, what's it going to cost me in terms of what are the charges for UNCG? Once you subtract out the financial aid, what is kind of left over? There are two examples on here. One on the left is for an in-state student, one on the right is for an out-of-state student, because the costs are different. If you go to the next slide, Well, the other part of the packet will actually be a way for you to fill out the numbers yourself in terms of in-state tuition. If you have other charges like student health insurance or things like that, and then you would subtract the financial aid that you've been offered. We always say subtract the grants and scholarships first, then decide if you want to use any student loans or not. And once you subtract the student loans, that would be the bottom line amount that's left over. What do I have to pay for this semester? And for parents, generally, that's the kind of number they're thinking about. What is it going to cost us to pay the bill? Kim and I have students in school right now as well, so we're really familiar with this concept personally as well as professionally. But that's really what we're hoping for you to understand, is sort of what will you have to pay out of pocket at the end of the day. So what are some things still to think about or be aware of in financial aid, even if you have an award letter? Well, one is the concept or the program that's called verification. Students are selected for verification by the Department of Education, and then we would ask you to fill in and complete some documents for us so we can double check and make sure that your FAFSA is correct. Why is this important? Well, the main thing is the Department of Education is really trying to figure out is, if a student has made an error on their FAFSA, they want you to fix it. They're really interested in making sure that students are able to get all the financial aid for which they're eligible. And if you had made an error and reported more income than required, they don't want you to get the short end of the stick. They want to make sure that you're getting the aid that you're supposed to have. So it's not a bad thing, and it's not something that they think you did anything wrong. It's really a matter of they're trying to make sure the students are filling in the right information, getting the right financial aid. So in terms of what do I need to submit, we will tell you what you need to submit. We have requirements that are listed in Uncg. The main thing is filling out our verification worksheet. And if you haven't submitted your tax information through the FAFSA by using the data retrieval, and a lot of folks do that now, which makes it a lot easier. But if you didn't, we would ask for copies of your tax transcripts and things like that. And how long does it take? Doesn't take very long. Really, what we're waiting for simply is for students to submit the documentation. Our staff will review it, usually in a matter of a couple days. So it goes very, very quickly. And the other thing that's important to do is make sure you follow up if we do ask for more information, that you follow up quickly on it. But we have awarded students, even if you're in this process. So it is important not to misconstrue the fact that there's an award letter where you still have some more steps to take. So again, this slide kind of covers the things we already talked about. You're not in trouble. Sometimes people get worried. Did I make a mistake? Did I do something wrong? No, it's just a precaution from the Department of Education to make sure that all the FAFSA data is correct. But we do have to complete the process before any aid can be dispersed to the student account. So you have been awarded. The financial aid will show as a credit on the bill. So that will still help all those decisions, but no aid can pay until we go through that entire process. So again, how you would know you're in verification, even if you didn't look at the requirements in Uncg, your financial aid award letter will have an important word on it, which says this is your estimated financial aid award. Estimated only because until we finish the process, we don't know if this information is entirely accurate. But what I can tell you is that for the majority of our students, once they go through the verification process, their award does not change. So that's the good news. You can look at this information and feel pretty confident that it's accurate, but it is an estimate until we can verify the information. And so we do have that word in there, so you know for sure. And also the documentation would also list it on this part of the award letter as well. So it should be pretty obvious that's the case. And as with all things, and you'll hear me say this a lot, and Jacob will also say the same thing, which is as we talk about different parts of the financial aid process, if you have a question, you make sure that you get a hold of us, and we'll be happy to explain it to you in more detail. So again, what do you need to submit for verification? The verification worksheet is really important. And that helps us understand what next steps to take in terms of some of the important questions and follow-ups. And again, there may be other requested information, and we'll tell you what we need. So you don't have to send stuff to us hoping we might need it. Wait for us to tell you what we need, and that'll make your life a lot easier. All right. This is a very important part of the whole process in terms of submitting anything to our office, whether it's a verification document, whether it's a student loan form, whether it's a request for information, whatever it may be. We do have in Uncg, as part of the financial aid section, is a way for you to upload documents directly into the student's financial aid electronic file. This is great for a lot of reasons. One is it's secure, so you can feel confident in uploading important information, that it's safe and secure. Number two, it goes right into the student's file, so it doesn't get lost. It doesn't end up in some other kid's file. It doesn't matter if the parents have a different name than the student. It's going to go right into the student's file. Then our staff, we have a procedure to identify those newly submitted forms, and they get reviewed right away. This is why we're able to do everything so quickly and so efficiently, because this process really makes a big difference. So there is a video that's here in the slide, and we're not going to play it, but just to know that's available, you can find it on YouTube, where you do get some information on how the document uploader works, what it looks like, and get a sense of how to upload the document safely and securely. But it does go really, really quickly. It's a great way to get your information to us safely and securely. The last thing I wanted to touch on, because this is an important question, when you did the FAFSA asked for information from 2 years ago. That's a really important distinction for two reasons. One, the good news is it allows students and parents to fill out the FAFSA accurately, because it's asking for information from a tax year and tax information that's already happened. Two, it also allows students and parents to use that IRS data retrieval tool and import tax information from the IRS to the FAFSA, again, making it safe and secure as well as accurate. However, what's difficult about it is 2 years ago, that's a long time ago. If a parent, for instance, has experienced job loss recently and it's not working, and you think, well, my FAFSA doesn't really accurately reflect what's going on right now, you are correct, it does not. But this is a way that we can help you. We have a form that we can send you where you can identify and tell us what your situation is. And we have some ways that we can help you to use your current information, because it more accurately reflects your current income rather than what was accurate 2 years ago. So for most people, it's a positive thing, the 2 years prior information. And for a lot of people, in a good way, their information has not changed, their income has remained steady. But if something has happened that has caused there to be a change, there is a way for us to help you, and we're happy to do so. So last thing, of course, is what to do in terms of getting answers, what to do in terms of how to move forward. Please make sure that you read any communications from the school, whether it's stuff from admissions or information from financial aid or from Kim's area. We have been sending you information that maybe in the moment wasn't as relevant, but do go back and reread those emails, because they are important. Some of those emails will have lots of important steps to follow for how to do something. So we do take great care in trying to write those in a way that are complete and you can follow the steps. But if you don't understand how to do something, if the steps are confusing, or if you try to do something and it didn't look right, please make sure that you call the office. For instance, for financial aid, make sure you call our office and say, I need help. And our staff will be happy to help you, to answer your questions, to help you make sure things are going well, give you information that you need. We're here to help you. We're here every day, Monday through Friday. You can email us, call us. You can have virtual appointments with us. You can stop in and see us if you're local. So we are here to help you. We're happy to do so. And we can generally explain and answer your question really, really easily. So, take us up on the offer. We're here to help. Lastly, in terms of the next slide, simply is, well, how do you do that? So this is our phone number. You can call our main number and talk to our financial aid counselors on the phone. You can come in and see us in person. You can also make appointments, and you can see our counselors virtually. So you don't have to even come in the office, but you can have a virtual appointment. And don't forget Spartan Central website, and also following us on social media. And really one way that's probably becoming a very popular way to get a hold of us simply is by email. Our email address is finaid@uncg.edu, and we respond as quickly as possible. We will get busy in the email box. So we say within 24 to 48 hours, and that's generally the case. But if it's a couple of days beyond that, just know that means we have a ton of messages and we're getting through them as fast as we can. But it's a great way to get a hold of us. And don't forget our chatbot mini. So the chatbot exists on a lot of our websites, Soar, financial aid, admissions. Mini is a great resource, because guess what? Mini never sleeps. So if you are looking at information and it's Saturday afternoon and our office is closed, she's working. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're thinking about how you want to move forward, have a question, she's available. And believe me, I see the stats. She gets used 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So someone is out there and they're making use of that. And I think that's really helps people get information when you want to know it. So please reach out to us, reach out to Minnie, but we're all here to help, as evidenced by the fact that we're all here to help right now, late in the evening, because we want to be available to answer the questions that you have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much, Kim and Jacob and Tatiana, for providing such incredible answers for all of our guests out there watching right now. I'm going to go ahead and ask Katie, who is our incredible producer behind the scenes, to go ahead and stop sharing your screen so that way we can go back and talk to everyone all at the same time on the screen. And Kim, I want to start with you with some questions from our viewers out there in internet land. We've gotten a couple of questions from students and family members who need to change their SOAR reservation. So is that possible? And if so, how can they do that?
It is possible. Just go right back into where you made your SOAR reservation. You will see a button that says change my reservation, and you can take care of that up to 5 business days before your SOAR session begins.
Wonderful. So just to recap, go right back into your new student portal. So you can go to the portal, same portal that you used to sign up for SOAR the first time. If you need a link for that, of course, check out either the SOAR website or the admissions website, and you can find that there. And there's a very helpful button that says change reservation. So go ahead and get that taken care of. I think I'll stick with SOAR right now because that's the way that most of our questions are coming in. What do we need to bring to SOAR? So do we have to bring our own bed linens? Do we have to bring towels and a toothbrush? So what do we need?
Yep. All right. So students are staying overnight with us, and parents and family members, guests are not. So for our guests, you just, do what you do, whether you're headed home, if you're close enough, or going to a hotel. If for students, you're staying overnight with us. You will bring some linens. I will say what most students have done in the past is just kind of grab a sleeping bag. But if you want to bring sheets, they're usually twin size, but some of the beds are a little wider. So we say, go ahead and bring queens and just kind of tuck it around. It's one night, so we'll make that work. Bring your favorite pillow, but you don't have to bring more than that. We have seen students roll up with an entire comforter set. That's not necessary for the one night unless you really want to. Certainly bring personal toiletries. So one thing that's really important to know is where you're staying overnight is a traditional residence hall. So it's not a hotel. So it does not come with hotel amenities. So make sure you bring what you need. And you will have a bath to use. So it's not a hall bath. It's a bathroom inside of a suite. But make sure you bring whatever you need. We always encourage students to bring, of course, their medications and identification. If you need that for your Spartan card, to pick up your Spartan card, any forms that you want to turn in during orientation, a list of questions that you might have so that when you get to orientation and it's kind of busy and loud and lots of people, that you don't forget. So maybe take some really good notes before you get here and bring your questions with you. Some students bring a little bit of cash or a credit card if they want to make a stop in the bookstore to get something there, but that's not necessary. We do provide 3 meals during orientation, so you will be fed while you're here, so you don't need to worry about that. But some people do want some extra snacks along the way, so maybe a credit card or some cash. But that's really about it. I would encourage you wearing very comfortable shoes. We walk quite a bit where it's warm outside. You do not need to be dressed up. We'd love for you to wear your Spartan gear, but there's no pressure to look a certain way, but definitely comfortable. Long days and a little bit of walking around campus.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kim. Are parents and family members required in the same way that students are required to attend SOAR?
No, they are not. So it is optional. I will say, though, that most of our students do bring at least one guest. So I know we hear every year from moms who kind of make a secret phone call to us to say, my student thinks they're going to be the only one with a parent there and they don't want to be embarrassed. That's not the truth. Most students will bring at least one guest, and that one guest is without charge. So it's easy for somebody to come along with you. Again, it's an adult family member, so we don't want you to bring your best friend or your boyfriend, girlfriend, because they won't be able to go along with you through the student program. So if you happen to bring your best friend will be hanging out with a bunch of other parents and family members and probably not happy with you. So, but no, parents and family members are not required to attend. We strongly encourage it for a few reasons. But like I said, most students do bring somebody. But the reason it's really helpful for a parent or a family member to attend is to kind of take notes behind the student to maybe attend different breakout sessions so that you can get even more information. If both of you are listening to the same information, you could compare notes later to make sure you understood, or that kind of thing. I think parents and family members really enjoy the program. We have a lot of information for everybody combined, but there are some times where parents and family members are taken kind of by themselves, and they get some special treatment by special people around campus, and are able to ask questions in a way that maybe is very helpful and useful to them without students in the room, and vice versa, so that students can ask questions when they're in sessions by themselves. So we really love to see parent and family members. I think it's fun for them to get to watch the experience, but I think probably the biggest takeaway is that you get information that we're going to hope that you continue to share with your student during their first year, as they maybe have questions, or if they're struggling with something, that you can remind them of the things that you learned during orientation to encourage your student to seek certain resources on campus. Maybe they forgot, or maybe they're just unsure of how to do it. Oftentimes we ask our parents and family members to really kind of be our partners in supporting our students. And so if you're there at SOAR, you'll have learned all of that. And then if they call you and say they're bored, or if they call you and say, I don't think they have anything here for me for tutoring, they can say, no, they do, because we talked about that at SOAR. And so here are the phone numbers that we got in our resource guide that we got at SOAR. Go visit this place, make a call. So we hope to see most, we hope that most students will bring at least one parent or family member.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kim. And I will give a helpful tip for anyone who is coming from a distance to UNCG's campus for SOAR. Whenever I came, I was a student here, and whenever I came, my home is 4 hours away. So stay in a hotel overnight. You do not want to have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, drive a couple of hours, and then spend all day listening to a bunch of people talking to you about how you're going to be doing stuff here at UNCG. Stay in a hotel the night before. It's a very good idea. And then once you get here, you'll stay on campus, and odds are your family members are going to be with you, so they can just stay at the hotel as well. So that is a very good idea in case you are coming from a distance like I was. I do have a question for Tatiana. And Tatiana, the question from a viewer is, my residency is wrong. It currently says that I'm an out-of-state student. However, I've lived in North Carolina my whole life. How can I fix that?
Yes, this happens quite often, actually, from a couple of students. So during the application process, there is an option, or there is a process where you have to log into the North Carolina Residency Determination Service. It's a third party that we use to assist us with determining in-state and out-of-state tuition, which is very important, because if you are in-state, you want to make sure you're being considered that way, so that way your tuition isn't reflecting out-of-state. So to receive your RCN, which is that residency classification number, you'll need to complete the online residency interview process. To be able to do that, you'll have to go directly onto the North Carolina Residency website. That website you can find on our website if you just Google search UNCG RDS. Also, it'll give you a number. And once you receive that number, you can give our admissions office a call, and we can go ahead and make sure we input that number into your application to make sure that you are being considered. Of course, if you have any issues with this, feel free to give our office a call. We can kind of walk you through it. We do use that third party, so they do also have their own website, so they can also walk you through for any details that we're not able to assist with. But it's that RCN, that residency classification number, that you will get after you fill out that interview process on the Residency Determination Service website.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Tatiana. And for anyone who has gone through the residency determination process before, you may realize that it is kind of an easy process to mess up. I had to go through residency determination myself not too long ago, and for some reason, residency thought that I still lived at home with my parents. That's not the case, but residency thought that was the case, so I had to go through the reconsideration process myself. It is not as big of a hassle as it sounds like, but it is definitely something that you want to pay extra close attention to make sure that you are doing it correctly. Now, let's talk a little bit about some scholarships and some financial aid. So, Jacob and John, this question is for y'all. If a student receives a scholarship that is not offered through UNCG, so through an outside community organization or something like that, can they cash the check? Can they bring it into us? What do they need to do?
Go ahead, Jacob. This is right up your alley.
Yeah, so yeah, this is part of what I do with our scholarship team. If it's from an outside organization, pretty much all of them will not let you cash the check personally. It's for your educational expenses like any other financial aid. So what you'll do is bring the check to us. Like John said in the presentation, even if you haven't received the check, because we have organizations that'll say, send you a letter saying, hey, congratulations, $1,000 for fall and spring. We'll send the check once you have confirmed your registration. So that might be in September. That's the importance of sending us that letter or any official communication with them. If it's like a screenshot of an email, send that to us. That way we can go ahead and put it on your account. And that way the cashier's office knows, okay, John has $500 coming for fall. Other things to look at is how the check is made out. Some organizations will make the check out to you. Some will make it out to us. Some will make it out to you and us. And then some of them will make it out to you or us. If the check is made out to you or the check is made out to you and UNCG, be sure to endorse the back of that check. Saves you a step, because when we take it over to the cashier's office, if it needs endorsement, they're going to send you an email and say, hey, come back to the office and sign it for us. Other good points of order, make sure your name's on there somewhere, ID number, any information you have, because if there's no information about is it fall or spring, we're just going to split it evenly. But if it's a fall check, make sure you write fall on there. Just give us as much information as you can. But yeah, never cash it yourself, because a lot of organizations will revoke it in that case. So
the majority of scholarship checks are made out to the UNCG directly, and the majority of them are sent to us directly. A few will go to the student, and that's fine. As Jacob said, if you get it, that's fine. Just send it to our office so we can process it for you. If you forget that and you've actually cashed it already, there's nothing wrong with that. Just again, let us know that you have it, because we have to count it as part of your overall financial aid. So we do want to know about it. But for the most part, it will come to the school directly. For the most part, it will be made out to just the school anyway. But Jacob brings up a good point. If it is made out to the student and the school, or just a student, make sure that you've already endorsed it so we can get it processed for you faster. But we're here to help with any of those questions as you have them. So please let us know about them.
Absolutely. Thank you both. I do have another financial aid question for you. If I take out loans and I change my mind and I don't want to take out loans anymore, can I give them back?
This is a great question, and it's actually almost as if it was planted, because this is a very important point about student loans. So we will always award student loans at the maximum amount that you're allowed to have. There are limits from the government in terms of what we can award. The question then becomes, do I want to use student loans, and if so, how much? You don't have to borrow the full amount. You can borrow a smaller amount. You don't have to borrow any of the money if you want. So it's really up to the student and the family to make this decision. If you borrow a smaller amount and want to borrow more later, you can do that. If you borrow an amount but decide you don't need it, we can also reduce it for you. So it's flexible in either direction. So, let it be the tool that it's designed to be, which is a very flexible way to help you pay for your education. So if you borrow the money, but you do get an outside scholarship that you didn't even know about, and you want to borrow less now, we can help you with that. If you didn't borrow enough money because you had some plans, and you thought that you had some money saved up that you wanted to use, but you had to use it for another expense at home, and now you want to borrow the money, you can still borrow that. Just let us know either way. Very flexible. It's a tool. Make sure that you use it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, John. Kim, we've got an engaged parent here on the chat, and they're wondering about any kind of opportunities that the parent and family can have while their student is a student here at UNCG.
Absolutely. So there's a few things we would invite parents and family members, to visit campus whenever. It's always here for you to visit. Certainly family weekend, and it's likely we'll be back in person for family weekend this year. So that's a great time to come visit. We also have the Parent Family Advisory Council. You may hear it referred to as PFAC, but it's the Parent Family Advisory Council, and it's open for parents and family members to join. That is actually run through a different shop, but we work very closely together, and you'll learn more about PFAC and probably meet current PFAC members who are parents of current students at SOAR. They are usually at some of our SOAR sessions, and they'll just chat with you about opportunities on PFAC, but also talk to you about being a parent of a college student at UNCG. But parents and family members are able to join PFAC. And that group gets together on a regular basis to talk about any issues or concerns or ideas they have for the university. And it's we have somebody here at UNCG who kind of serves as the conduit of that information to those who might need to hear about that, to bring suggestions forward or ideas or whatever PFAC members have. There is a Spartan family engagement program, and there is a newsletter that goes out, and you'll want to make sure that you get on the newsletter email list. And that goes out regularly out of the Division of Student Affairs, Spartan Family Programs, and it keeps you up to date on all sorts of things happening on campus. So we want parents and family members to be engaged. Of course, some will be able to be engaged a little bit more than others in terms of getting to campus more often, in terms of maybe joining something like PFAC or coming to Family Weekend. But again, we see parents as partners, and we really are hopeful that parents will be just as invested in this process. We know that you will be. This is your child. This is your grandchild, your family member who you are sending off to UNCG, and you want them to graduate and you want them to be successful. But we know it takes a little bit of a village. So we're hoping that you'll be engaged in many ways, and in particular, supporting your student through this process and getting them connected and engaged with campus as well. But yes, plenty of ways for parents and family members to stay connected to the university.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Kim. It absolutely does take a village to raise a university. But Kim, for our students who are local and for our families who are local, if they're coming to SOAR, when they come to SOAR, on that second day, do you have an estimated time of when things might wrap up? One of our students is looking for a time to schedule their ride.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, let me say this before, for anybody who might be flying in, we don't have, we do have out-of-state students. We don't have a lot of students who will fly in. But if you do need to do that, please make sure you're checking in with us about your flight schedule, because we have had some folks make some flight arrangements that just were not conducive to attending SOAR the way that you need to. So we want to make sure that you don't make that mistake and that you can make your flights and also get to SOAR. On the second day of orientation, you can expect to be wrapping up from SOAR right around lunchtime, a little bit after. Our schedule is still a little bit in flux. We're kind of fine-tuning the last details, but you start in the early morning of the first day. You do some things, we have lunch, you do more things, you have dinner. I base everything around meals. So we do some things, we eat, we do some things, we eat, we go to bed, we get up, we have breakfast. You'll do a few things. And then our big information fair, the expo, is what ends the day, where you get to pick up lots of freebies and swag and a free t-shirt, and then you're free to go after that. And that wraps up right around lunchtime.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Tatiana, I have got a student here who sent us a text, and they are still struggling a little bit to make their decision to attend UNCG. So they're not quite sure if this is the school that they want to go to, if they're looking for, if they're looking at other options, another school. So to that student and to that family, what would you say that they should do?
Well, if you haven't already, visit campus. I think that is the one most important thing that a student can do in making a decision. Visit campus, come with your family. We do campus tours Monday through Friday, twice a day, and even on some selected Saturdays. We have virtual tours, we have bilingual tours, we have Honors College Friday tours. Come on campus, come and speak with one of our admissions counselors. If you have questions about financial aid, you can set up a meeting with them. If you want to talk to a current student, reach out to us in admissions, and we can definitely link you up with one of our Spartan guides who is a current student. Maybe you want to learn a little bit more about a particular major, we can definitely assist with that. We have campus partners and faculty members who, if you're interested in, wanting to tour the music building, let us know, because we can definitely set that up with faculty members. So if it's something that you are looking for and you just want more answers, or maybe you just want to come and visit campus and chat with one of us, you can totally do that. We are an open campus, so if you don't want to do like a formal tour, you can just come on campus and have lunch on our campus if you'd like, because we are open. You can kind of see what it feels like to be a student at UNCG. So my biggest advice is definitely coming on campus and just really trying to find those connections with students, staff, and faculty.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tatiana. And John and Jacob, I'm going to turn this over to you and frame it the same way, but a different way. A student wants to come to UNCG, but they just don't know if they can afford it, and they're just needing a little bit more money to come. What can we do?
Well, the first thing is we always award all the financial aid that we have up front. So we don't have extra money saved up in the back for people who need a little bit extra. We put all the money we have right out front, so you know exactly what you can expect for assistance from the university. But what's not on the award letter are two very important things that people use in terms of paying their bill each semester. These are options that people can choose to help with any money left over after the financial aid that you did receive has been factored in. One is what's called a PLUS loan, which is a loan for parents. So there are loans for students and there are loans for parents in the financial aid process. So that's a way for a parent to borrow some money through the financial aid process to help pay the rest of the bill. Also, our cashier's office has a payment plan option. So you can break down the payments for the semester into 5 installments. And so if your remaining bill was $5,000, you don't have to pay the whole amount at one time. You can make 5 $1,000 payments. And that monthly payment is just a little bit easier on a family's budget in terms of making that extra payment. So those are the two major ways that people will cover the rest of their costs if their financial aid is not enough to cover the bill.
I do also want to chime in, John, and chat about those awesome grants that we are giving to our enrolled students that are coming to UNCG. It's that $1,500 housing grant. So if you do decide to live on campus, you will automatically see that $1,500 housing grant right off of your bill. We also have a $1,200 college readiness grant. That grant is, we are hoping you would buy a laptop if you need it to make you college ready. But if you already have a laptop and you need it for other things, for books, for rent, for whatever it may be to get you college ready, you can use that. That is a direct deposit right into the account number that you give us. So that is already $2,700 that you receive with no questions asked. That's something that you will automatically receive. So I think that is really awesome of UNCG to do that. And I just wanted to make sure that you all are aware that every student will be receiving that. And that is clear. Yeah. No, sorry, John, go right ahead. I was going to mention that won't see that on the financial aid, but you can go ahead and I'll pass it over to you.
I was going to say that. Just to be clear, and so it's not confusing, those two grants are not considered part of the financial aid process. So you won't see it as part of the financial aid award. But as Tatiana said, it is incredibly generous of UNCG to be able to offer that kind of support to our students beyond the financial aid process. And I'm really, really glad that students are going to have that extra help this year.
Absolutely. Well, friends, it is getting to be close to the time where we are going to wrap things up. And so I just want to say thank you all so much for joining us here on this panel, and to all of our viewers out there in internet land, thank you so much for asking your amazing questions. If you have any more questions, you can, of course, text us and we will answer your questions. Give us a call anytime that you want to talk to us here in the admissions office, in the new student transitions office, or in financial aid. Always, always, always give us a call or send us an email. I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up, and to take us home, I want all of our panelists to tell me what your favorite thing is or what drew you here to UNCG. So Jacob, and then John, and then Kim and Tatiana. Let's go in that order. So Jacob, what drew you here?
Actually a student here as well. I graduated in 2012. Now I'm back here working. What drew me is I come from a pretty small town. There's not a lot of diversity. There's not a lot of opportunities after our main industry left. So going somewhere new, expanding my horizons, meeting new people, That was the biggest thing for me. It was a way to see the world outside of the lens that I had always saw it or seen it. And when I went, like Tatiana said, I went and visited several colleges. And when I came to Greensboro, I was like, okay, this is it. I finally felt like I was going to see a world that I hadn't seen, living kind of in like I said, a small town my whole life. And then coming back here to work, just giving back to the university that helped me get my start in life.
Wonderful, thank you. John, what you got?
Well, I moved here 22 years ago from out of state to North Carolina. I was lucky enough to work in higher education, so I got a job here at UNCG working in financial aid, and I never left. So that will tell you that how I feel about this institution, how I feel about its mission, how I feel about my colleagues, how I feel about the help and support that we give our students. It's a great place to be. I've seen a lot of students come and go over the years, and I see students that have great experiences. I see students that really value their education, and I see students like Jacob and Tatiana and Trey who actually end up coming back and being a part of the family and never leaving because of the experience that they had, as well as education that they received, because we don't just hire anyone to work here. So they have to be able to do a good job, and they all do. So it's a great place to be for a lot of reasons. And my daughter went to daycare here, so she grew up on campus, and so that was pretty special too.
You're not getting rid of me that easy. Kim, what drew you here, and what do you enjoy about UNCG?
I've been here so long, I don't remember. No, I'm just, John and I have been here about the same amount of time. I kind of got here by hook or by crook, but I didn't leave because of how great it was. And I have to say, it's our students. Those of us who work in higher ed could really work at any university. But our students are super special, and we feel like we're really making a difference in their lives. And so that's important, I think, to all of us. I think what keeps me here too, or what I like best, this is a photograph, it's not real, but it's basically real outside. This is a beautiful campus. If you haven't come by for a visit, I think, so many people when they first see UNCG, they're just blown away at how pretty the grounds are, how pretty it is. It's just a very pretty campus. It's not a bad place to spend your days walking around. It's just so pretty. And then if you haven't been to Greensboro, Greensboro is quite the trending and cool city. So without some of the traffic issues of some of the bigger cities in North Carolina, there's enough to do here to keep you happy and busy, but you can actually get around town, pretty quickly and not have to worry about sitting in lots of big city traffic. But I think Greensboro has grown up so much in those 22 years, and there's just so much to offer here outside of just the campus, but right downtown and all around Greensboro. So that's why I'm still here.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kim. All right, Tatiana, take us home.
All righty. Well, I came to UNCG as an out-of-state student from California. Of course, I needed to visit UNCG, and when I came on campus, like Kim said, I fell in love with it. It was a beautiful campus. I also got to know staff and students and faculty, and they just really care about you, and you really do feel that when you are on campus. And what I loved about most about UNCG is it's a large campus, but that small town feel is really awesome. And there's always things to do, not only on campus, but off campus. It's just a great place to be, and definitely a place I call home.
Wonderful. Well, to all of our panel, thank you so much for being here and spending your evening with me. And to everyone out there viewing, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight, for asking so many wonderful questions. We hope you come to campus. We hope you enroll here at UNCG. You've heard so many incredible reasons why you should be a student here. So if you haven't made a decision yet, just come talk to us and we can help you make that decision. But thank you all for being here, and we'll see you later. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.